Look at this. You guys know who this is. What's up all you cool snakes and neonates? How's it going? I hope you are all keeping well. Oh, you guys know who this is? For you guys that don't know who this is Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi is our mangrove snake, also known as the golden ring cat-eyed snake. And their scientific name is Boiga dendrophilia, if you guys want to impress your teachers with some big words. Rear-fanged, mildly venomous. Fantastic snake, absolutely wonderful. Their venom is not bad at all. It could maybe ruin your day or even your week if you're lucky. If you're hyperallergenic, it could cause you some problems. But as she is just wonderful. Aren't you my sweetheart? Yes, you are. I've never really been happy with her setup since we got her in. It's perfect size for her and it's good for her. But it's just awkward to get into. As you guys seen in the last video, we rehoused the stick insects. And I mentioned in that video, we were going to put Chi-Chi here in the stick insects old enclosure because it's a bit bigger for her. She'll be able to climb a bit better because these are an arboreal species, which means she likes to climb. She likes it high up. So I wanted to give her a bit more room to climb, so I figured that enclosure would be good to try her in that enclosure and give her the opportunity to climb if she wanted to. She's just so pretty. So let's go and do our best at making that enclosure. So I wanted to make this lovely and nice for her because they're very slow growing, the mangrove snakes. So the chances are she's probably going to be in this for a good year or maybe even nearly 2 years. So I wanted to make it nice and pretty for her. I wanted to make it quite naturalistic. So every video I've seen of people finding them in the wild, they've been sitting on top of giant leaves overhanging the water, basking above the water, and in that way if something nasty tries to eat them, they just jump down straight into the water and swim away. And of course I'm going to give her a little hide that she likes, that she's in all the time at the moment on the floor, because as much as I would like to see her out, I want her to be comfortable before anything else. So she's going to have her little hide in there, and if I don't see her, I don't see her. That's okay. They are a nocturnal animal, so she is actually active most of the time through the night. And when the stick insects were in here, the lid was set on top and there was a stone set on top. Wasn't happy with that at all. It wasn't foolproof, so I screwed a bar in the top and I put a latch on the back so that she can't push her way out of this enclosure. I've doubly made sure I've redone all the glue on the vents to make sure that that's not going to pop out, or hopefully she won't be able to push her way out of this enclosure anyway. Time will tell on that, but we will see. We don't want our little tiny escaping in the room. So guys, just a little update while I'm actually doing the editing. I just realised that, as you can see guys, we've taken that big water bowl out of there. Because it's a glass valve, it's holding humidity way too well. I'm trying to get the ventilation slash moisture right. These guys only need about 50% humidity. Any higher and they can get respiratory infections. The humidity currently is around about the 80 mark. I've got the roof off it just now, trying to dry out the substrate. I'm actually drying the substrate to the point of being bone dry, just to try and get the humidity in there right, because the overall humidity in this room is about 50%. So really, I'm trying to dry that substrate completely out. We've taken out that big water bowl because that was a big body of water that's just constantly evaporating in about the 24 degrees temperature that this room is constantly at, pretty much. So she's actually back in there just now because I was not happy with her being about 70-80% humidity. I'll give you an update in future videos if we manage to get her in here, but as it currently sits guys, the big water bowl with the glass tank was not a good idea. And I was a bit gung-ho with watering the brick and it was just too moisture in there. So we're trying to dry that bedding completely out so that we can sort of get this sorted. And if it doesn't go down to 50%, we're going to have to look at a plan B, put more ventilation in there so that all the humidity is going to escape, but try and get a happy medium where the humidity can get out, but we're not going to lose tons of heat as well at the same time. Unfortunately, we rehomed Milkshake, our banana California king snake. She's just down the road. She's at a friend's house so we can keep an eye on her. So we're getting regular updates on her. It wasn't an easy decision, I'm going to say that right now. I shed a tear or two after she'd left, and I was looking at the empty spot where she stayed. So that was not an easy decision, but we're running out of space here in the reptile rich room. We are going to be looking at introducing the false water cobras at the end of the year. So we're going to need to get a rack system and an incubator made up. We're going to have a shift around. We need to really free up some space. We've got a couple of spiders we need to sell on, I think, to free up a little bit more space. But we are really bursting at the seams here in the reptile rich room. We took the animals out of the living room, so we didn't have animals in the living room. There's already a couple of animals back in the living room now with the axolotls and Shelly the turtle. So we really need to watch what we're doing. Unfortunately, Milkshake, she was no good at the kids' shows because I never trust a king snake around children. She was no good for breeding because I never intended her on breeding. She wasn't an educational animal or an animal ambassador for the channel because she's not a species that's really whose habitat's under much threat or she's under much threat or anything like that. So she really was the sensible option to rehome her and make room for the other animals in here that are here to stay. So since she is away, we've had a rearrange. Let's go and take a look at doing some rearranging. That shelf behind me there, that needs to be lowered. So I need to go lower that and try and see what I can do with that space. Let's have a look. Now let's find out if the measurements were correct. Oh, that's a lot of dust on stuff. May as well dust that while I can get to it. Heat map. Heat map first. How? Oh, measured to perfection. Look how close that gap is. Oh, that's good there. Oh my word, I can't get a moment today between business phone calls and messages and off the scale experiences. Trying to get this done. I've got 101 jobs to do here in the animal room. I've been in here constantly for like a week now. So that's the shelf lowered. We're starting to get stuff up. I've put a UV light up here. Ta-da! So you can see there's a UV light up there. Now I put the gecko and the Evie, our P. regalis in here. The P. regalis doesn't need UV light, but the gecko, the Chahua gecko does. So I put them in here and they were coming to, the enclosures came to about there. I wasn't happy with that. That's not really close enough to the UV bulb as I would like it. However, a while ago I made this as a stand for one of the vivs to go on the floor because I never like putting heat mats flat on the floor. I always like to have something between them or air underneath them. If I can, just thingy them. So I'm going to pop this here. It fits, but I don't know if our enclosures are going to fit on it. If this is going to work. There's Evie, our P. regalis. Ooh, it's tight. It's tight. Because this will also give us somewhere to put our littler tarantulas under here as well. Because we're trying to save space at the moment. Ooh, guys, it might just have worked, you know? It's not pretty. I'll probably paint it black eventually. But the Chahua is closer to the UV. There's space there. It's not going to fall. It's quite sturdy. My fat bum can jump next to it and it's fine. I think we're on to a winner there, guys, eh? So yeah, that's fantastic. I didn't plan on this. I did have an idea of how this was going to go, but a lot of this has been sort of making it up as I went along. I knew I had some extra space to give here, so that's worked fantastically. Just dropping it down it's that much further, it's dropped down, dropping it that much further down, and we've managed to get extra enclosures up here, free up a lot of space elsewhere. I was originally going to put the mangrove snake up here, but I figured this is the spider corner, and if I can get all the spiders back in this corner again, it's going to be a bonus. Not all of the spiders are going to be here, but pretty much all of them. Fantastic, good stuff. Let's get the little spiders in, wherever they are. Fantastic, look at that. It's like a real one. But I'm very happy with that. The dubia roaches just go here, like so. They get a little bit of heat there, that's fine for them. We need to get a heat mat on there for her, because they say they don't like heat or don't need heat, but she loves her heat, and I do give her heat, and she does thrive on her heat, and you see her on it often. Hi guys! Someone horn happy there, but yeah, happy with that guys. What do you guys think? Let's get this finished up. Whoa, it's finally done guys. The little, I don't know what we'll call this, the little's corner with the little stuff in it. Sheesh! There is, oh, the camera light just died. So there is Evie's enclosure, the female P. regalis. That is the female Chahua gecko's enclosure. I'm currently washing the bowls, that's why she doesn't have any water in there right now. It's literally been washed. Hello sweetheart, how are you today? How are you, sweeties? So I had to rearrange her enclosure because her heat had to go to the other side. So we had to put her there. She's, as she's gotten older, she's developed a little bit of special needs. Her top jaw is sort of deformed. Her bottom jaw is sort of got an overbite on it. Yeah, so I keep her enclosure as basic as possible because she isn't always the most stable of animals. So I haven't overly complicated that. She just got some stuff to climb on. She's got a spot to bask in the heat, spot to bask in the UV. She can get up there and lead that ledge there, and eat and drink to her heart's content. Can't you, sweetheart? Next to that, we have the big whatever that is again. I can't remember. But we have that one in there. It's been quite lethargic recently, so I'm hoping it's coming into molt, and we're not having any problems. There is our other P. regalis. It might be male, might be female. I'm hoping for a male. If it's a male, I hope it sort of holds off maturation until our female is ready. This is empty. We've got the little spiders down here, all the slings. We've got our Vietnamese tiger, our Peruvian green velvet, our Nando Trepepe, our Brazilian giant blonde bird eater. Got our cobalt blue in there. Can't remember the scientific name. It's there. It's kind of rubbed off, but you know what it is. There we have our flame knee. I can't remember the scientific name again. I'll find the bit of paperwork somewhere. There is Bowser in there. A little African fat-tail gecko. Is he in there? You in there, son? No, you're not in there. Must be in the toilet. He's in there somewhere. He doesn't actually have a light. He's purely nocturnal, so it's he's never really had a light. There is our dubia roach colonies, and down in the bottom here somewhere is Mr. Nubbins. Hello, Mr. Nubs, sitting on his favourite log there, king of the castle. There's Mr. Nubs, and there's a Mr. Nubs jobby. There we go. He's done a poop. That dad needs to clean up. So there you go, guys. There is our reconditioned rack system, our reconditioned enclosures. Fit a lot more in there than was in there before, so I'm quite chuffed with that. That's looking pretty good, guys. Yeah. So, yes. There was 2 lights here before. I took one out and put it in that enclosure. So the 2 connected lights are going to go between those 2 because Lilith's never had a light and I always felt bad for that. So that'll mean every single snake in that section will have an enclosure. The mangrove snake's new enclosure there is going to go up there. And that's going to leave spaces and things like that all around. So yeah, that's that section done. Now I've got to get on with the next section. I'm sweating. I've been at this all day. Crazy. So there we go. The racks, the animals have changed around. A lot more animals have lights in their vivs now. We managed to change vivs around and lights around it. I hope you guys all enjoyed that. If you did, don't forget to like the video. Throw a comment in the comment section. If you aren't already, hit that subscribe button, that little bell button. You guys know what you're doing, you awesome bunch. We have passed 900 subscribers, so we are on that. We're getting close to hitting that 1,000 subscriber mark, guys, which is mental. That's astronomical. So keep hitting that subscribe button, keep sharing the channel around, telling your friends and all that kind of stuff. You'll definitely want to hit that bell button, because when we rehomed her, we freed up her house, and we may have a new animal that is in the post as I speak this. It is in the post and being sent up to us. So by the time this video comes out, I'd imagine we will have a new animal in this animal room. So you guys will definitely want to tune in for that. So from me, Chi-Chi here, and the rest of the awesome and amazing animals, thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Take it easy. Peace.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
Close. If we have managed it. Sorry, Bowser.